Hey everyone, welcome back again. Thank you for joining me. So in the last part, we discovered that it was actually just a rock jamming up the hoe instead of a broken shaft or something. So that's all good, but I'm still going to be doing a rehaul on it and making sure everything's nice and clean and replacing all the fluids in it. So I'm going to be starting today by cleaning the chain case cover, scraping all the gunk off that, and scrubbing it clean with some engine degreaser. So yeah, that might take a while. Okay, so I've cleaned most of the dirt and muck off of that plate. As you can see, it's still kind of a bit pitted and rusty, which I'm kind of fine with that. Although I need to come back later and remove the rest of the old gasket and just make sure it's all free of grease and grime before I put the new gasket on. And that's the residue from the bucket. Pretty gross, looks like bit of mud in it, I'm not sure if it is. And coming over here, I'm going to be, I've soaked the chain case there with degreaser, and I'm just going to use a bit of compressed air to try and get rid of most of the muck there, so hopefully that Okay guys, so that's the case after cleaning it with the compressed air, and that's looking pretty good. So I think I'm just going to leave it there for today and come back again tomorrow. Okay guys, so it's next morning and the chain case components there have dried and they seem like they're clean enough for what I want. So I'm just going to leave them there like that. But before I put them back together, I need to scrape off the rest of the old gasket and replace it. So doing that, I'm going to be wearing a suitable dust mask and making sure to keep the surfaces wet, because I'm not exactly sure what the gasket's made out of. It could be asbestos, it might not be, it doesn't really look like it, but always err on the side of caution with that. And join me on the other side for actually making the gasket then as well. Okay, so I've scraped all the old gasket off all the different pieces there, and some pieces I just gave a rough stoning with a sharpening stone just to get rid of the burrs and things. So that's looking all good. That's degreased and wiped over, as is the housing parts and the little bearing cover there as well. So what I'm going to do now is use some silicone gasket maker type stuff and just run a bead around the housing and then clamp down with the bolts and nuts. Okay guys, I've got that all hand tightened down there, got some nice squeeze out. So I think I have to give this about an hour, and then I come back and torque it down to the proper spec, and I have to allow that 24 hours to cure. And the same around here on the bearing housing. So that's good, and I'll come back and fill in the fuel. Hello everyone, how's it doing? So I've just got one more little job to do on the rotary hoe here, and that's replacing the fluids and breaking the clutch in. So if we have a look down here, the gasket sealed quite well around, and we're just filling that up down to the level of that bolt there, and then around on the central casing and in that hole there. So it should just be a pretty quick job. And then with a clutch, I've already loosened up the bolts there, just around the ring there, and I'm just going to go and take it back down to the garden patch and run it for a few runs like that, so it has a chance to break any corrosion free. So see you then.